Plateau State, the home of peace and tourism, has witnessed giant strides and development under the rescue administration through the leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Simon Bako Lalong, all in a bid to give the Plateau citizens the dividends of democracy. It is no longer news that for any state, country or government to develop and provide the basic needs of its people, just as in the case of the rescue administration, the internally generated revenue must be strengthened to its full capacity so as to collect all the collectibles for the common interest and good of all. Plateau State Internal Revenue Service is saddled with the responsibility of gathering and collecting all tax to form the internally generated revenue of the state. And the service has grown over the years, especially under the leadership of Mr. Arlat Dashe.
Mr. Dashe Arlat Dasokot, I'm the Executive Chairman, Plateau State Internal Revenue Service. We were employed here as tax officers in the year 2001 to 2015, when this new government came in, and there were also some forms of reshufflement within the service in 2014 that led to some redeployment of some staff, and at that time our categories were left as the most senior people in the service. So I started even acting as a Director of Finance on a grade level 12 to 14 when this government came in, and I was made the acting chairman in 2015 June up to 2017. I was confirmed as the substantive chairman in 2017. I think government did that within the confines of the law, because it has been our desire by Personal Income Tax Act, section 87 is very clear, and that there should be an establishment of the service, and it was done in 2008. And normally the chief executive of the service should come from within. I think it was a good direction in 2017 that for the first time an executive chairman comes from within the service in 2017. And here are we, 2021, we're still rolling, as the function and activities that we'll be saddled with, to work, to ensure that we collect all the collectibles in the state, and we're on top of it.
Just as the saying goes, good leaders have vision and inspire others to help them turn vision into reality. Arlat Dashe did not shy away from sharing his vision to the teaming staff for onward movement. The service has in recent times seen tremendous growth in the aspect of revenue generation, putting together all strategies to ensure compliance of taxpayers.
We've been in the system. We have all the history of how collections were done sometime 2001 to 2014. I think the highest figure so far, was about 8.3 billion up to 2014. Revenue collection was not something that the government, folk put their mind on, because at that time, oil money was already there, and so revenue, internal revenue, was not anything. So, but we made up revenue from about 400 million. We move up. In fact, less than even 100 million. When we started. But I think Stephen Mara, when he came in, I think he raised up the revenue to about 300 to 400 million at that time. But during JAT, I think the highest revenue recorded so far was about 6 billion. 6 billion. But the other time we were talking of millions. Yeah, it's 6 billion, and the highest so far in 2014, before this government came in, was 8.4 billion. And the election time in 2015, with all the strikes, we're able to just get about 6.9 billion. So we pick up the revenue from there in 2015. So 2016, when we started, when I was asked to act, we say, yeah, with the experience that we have already within the systems, we know all the lapses, we know all the loopholes that were, and we discover there was need for us to really put some things properly. And I sat down with the staff, the directors, we packaged ourselves. I would say there was need for us to really increase our tax net by ensuring that all organizations that are supposed to remit payee should be paying us, not just them coming to meet us. And we have this understanding with the staff at that time that Operation Know Your Taxpayers is key. So we need to know all the organizations, we need to know all the individuals that are there.
This is also achieved with the contribution of directors in the service who are working tirelessly to ensure results for the service and the state at large.
What we do, we capture organization through data assessment. First of all, we get the information data raising their team, and through that team we capture virtually almost all information about an organization, and we now introduce your taxpayer, know your taxpayer, which means all staff or we groups organization to staff, and they know their taxpayer. So with that, having given you assessment, we now monitor the payment when you don't pay and when you pay.
The department is saddled with the responsibility of assessing taxpayers who are self-employed on their personal income tax, traders, professionals, and service providers.
We have recorded quite an increase, particularly from 2018, 19, and 2020. The increase has been steady, and it is due to the proactive nature of the chairman's way of carrying out his activities.
The activities done in the headquarters is what is replicated all over zonal offices. The good thing with it is that this time around it was structured in such a way that they can be closer to the head office. So that's why we coordinate, so that we can promptly attend to all their needs. You talked about revenue growing. Yes, it's growing because there were addition to these offices. Before now we didn't have Kwampan as a zonal office. Langtan North and Langtan South were merged to boost the coverage area. Mikan was merged to Shandam. So you can see that it's two local government in one. So the reach, so that we can reach everybody. Then Kwampan, it's due to stand on its own, so it's on its own. Then we have Wasi zonal office. These are the new addition.
I think with the help of the governor and the chairman, Plateau State Internal Revenue Service, Mr. Dashe Arlat, he has given us a great help to see that we achieve to this level. They provided vehicles that we are going around to collect the taxes, and is supporting us with funds so that we can create awareness in the zones.
Behind a successful man, there must be a successful woman that will make the man to be a successful man. To God be the glory, We are doing all this, it's not by our own strength, but it's from God. When you are determined to see that you boost the revenue of the state. Plateau State is our state. We are sons and daughters of the soil. And it's our earnest desire to see that the revenue of the state is moving forward, not backwards. And I will say, with the help of the executive chairman, we thank God he's up and doing, and he's coordinating directors and his directors. No one is relaxing. All, including the staff, they are up and down.
The strategic planning unit It also has the collection unit. It has the reconciliation and documentation unit that reports the revenues that the service generates. So in doing this, first we plan every year for what revenue we expect to generate. When the budget is announced and a figure is given, how do we meet our budget? We divide it into strategic departments, especially the formal, the informal, and the MLA, which is the a motor license authority, where revenues are generated. And we give them targets on how they can achieve these budgets. That has been what we have been doing over the years. You can't generate revenue and meet target without a strategic plan. The strategy that we have been involved with revolves around some of the following. Number one is our enlightenment and stakeholders engagement. The service over the years have been engaging taxpayers in the formal and the informal sector to ensure that they fulfill their obligations. We have run a lot of jingles in print and electronic media to ensure that our taxpayers are enlightened and they know what they need to pay as obligation to the state. We have also engaged in stakeholder meetings with unions, with trade unions and associations to enlighten them about their responsibilities and what they need to do to ensure that they make ease of payment of taxes. We have also engaged the instrument of enumeration. That has to do with what we call TIN, tax identification number. Each taxpayer in the state has a tax identification number, whether it's in the formal or the informal sector. And over the years, we have been bringing a lot of people into the tax net. We have also done a lot, improve our assessment. When the service was automated in 2012, our assessment was automated. You don't just sit on your own and pay your payee without assessment. Hitherto, before automation, a lot of organizations just deduct 1% of their remuneration and pay as payee. But since 2012, we have been carrying out assessment. What they do is they submit to us the list of their employees and what they earn. We send it through our assessment platform, and it brings out what they need to pay. And a lot of them have been complying with our assessment.
Moving forward, the chairman is able to highlight areas to focus on for the onward growth and development of the service.
And so it takes up our revenue from that to about 9.3 billion in 2016. 2017, we took the revenue up again to about above 10 billion. Yes, 10.3 billion or so. Then in 2018, we took it up to about 12.4 billion. 2019, the revenue rose up to about 16.4 billion. And in 2020, we're already on. We've just finished 2020. Currently, our revenue stands at about 19 billion currently. And it has been very simple. Taxpayers within the canon of taxation, these are people that are in their business, but they are mandated by law to also contribute to the society, to the environment that they operate.
He's been trying and he's been supportive. He has contributed immensely to the growth in the revenue generation of the state. And I think it's largely because government has been supportive to him too. Because if government does not support him, he wouldn't do what he is doing.
We are in a global world, and technology is becoming the order of the day to achieving results most effectively. The service did not shy away from adapting to the realities of time, rather embraced the use of technology to boost their revenue generation. To effectively collect revenue across the state, the service has been able to open zonal offices all round the 3 zones of the state. And the chairman saw the need to provide buses for easy movement of staffs to collection points. The commitment for moving forward as a service is key to the heart of the executive chairman and all the directors, so as to help Plateau State continue to generate high internally generated revenue for common good of all its citizens. All this cannot be achieved without the support of the Governor, His Excellency Right Honorable Simon Bako Lalong.